Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Seattle Stitcher. My name is Megan. You can find me on Instagram as The Seattle Stitcher, or you can email me at theseattlestitcher@gmail.com. Since this is a WIP parade, it might bring in a lot of new people, so welcome to. I know I always say welcome back, but welcome to. I am so very grateful for you all sticking around with me for these past few years on FlossTube, and I'm grateful for all the new people maybe tuning in for the first time today. I just like to kind of hop straight into stuff, so I'm gonna hop right in. I will say I'm gonna put on the screen a little bubble, probably up here or maybe over here, depends on where it fits, that will just kind of show what the project is, and I'll go over the details of the fabric and flosses, but I do want to have the actual name of the pattern on the screen. I just think that that's going to be the best, and I also will put a little photo of the finished object on the screen. My first WIP, I'll pop the picture on the screen here. This is Emma Thatcher. I absolutely love this project. I'm doing a full color conversion, which I can't even list off because it's all misdyes or offcuts of Dinky Dyes silks. Dinky Dyes has an Etsy shop, and they, a few times a year I've noticed, you just have to be on top of it to watch for it. So maybe turn on your notifications for their Instagram posts, or if you have a way to follow them on Etsy, which I think you can follow a shop on there, but they will post little like batches where you get, I think, 20 silks per batch, and they're $20. So quite affordable per skein. The skeins are smaller, but they do come in handy for samplers where you don't have a huge swath of color typically, unless it's like there's a ton of one color for a certain flower in the border, or there's a ton of one color for a huge house, that kind of thing. But the skeins so far for me have worked out. So this pattern I'm stitching 1/2 with those Dinky Dyes silks, and I'm stitching it on a Fiber on a Whim fabric called Cream and Sugar. It's one of my favorite creamy white kind of neutral fabrics, and here is where I have gotten to. So I've actually taken the time this time to iron all of my WIPs, and you'll have to mind that I'm going to be cast into a shadow. I have my bright lights on so that you guys can hopefully get the best effect of where I'm at with my stitching. But as you can see, I do have the full border outlined. I just kind of really am focusing bottom up on this one, which is not a normal for me. I just wanted to get the over one stitching in. So I did get my daughter's name, Amira Ray Babauta, and then I edited the pattern, altered the pattern to say stitched by her mother's hand. And then, yeah, I just started pulling from those Dinky Dyes to get as close as I could to the called for with what I had in the Dinky Dyes silks. So I have a bunch of them in the project bag, and that is what I am kind of starting off with. This year, 2026, I know I'm probably putting this out at the end of 2025, but I would actually like to get to the quote on this because I'm going to be recharting this quote. I don't follow this country singer, but it randomly popped up on my feed, and it is a song by a lady that goes by Cam Country, and it's Lead Me Down to the River, I think is the name, but I think I might quote her song in here. It's kind of about a mother, you know, when you've passed away, you're waiting at the river for your child or children to meet you there so you can like pass over hand in hand, because like heaven's not complete until you're with your children, kind of thing. So I might rechart this to be that. I might rechart it for something else. I'm not really sure yet, but that is where I'm at. I am actually, I know, not that far in, but I'm happy with this progress overall because I did actually touch this year, 2025. And I'm really happy with how my 1/1 stitching looks on this. I think it looks great on the fabric, and part of that is probably because I'm using silks, but the other half is this amazing fabric as well. Just absolute gorgeous fabric. So you can kind of see an up close of the stitching. The next one is actually a new start, so it hasn't been featured in a FlossTube yet, but I finished the last small that I was working on, and I have a goal of getting a few different smalls finished so I can make a little pillow sort of assortment for my new book cases that are being built in my craft room. And for that, I have started this one as my next one. This is a Blackbird Designs. It is from the Sewing Club book, which I absolutely love. I pretty much love almost every single piece inside that book. There's a couple of the really small pieces that I don't think I'm going to stitch, but pretty much everything else I have on the docket to be stitched. This one I'm stitching 1/2 on a 36 count Sand Dollar by Bestitch Me. Really like this fabric. It's a great neutral. And here is where I've gotten to. This one is a drum finish, and I am doing a full color conversion. I have been listing my color conversion on these kind of set of smalls on my Instagram, so if you're really interested, definitely check it out there. I haven't posted this one yet. I tend to not post them until I'm just finished, but I have been pulling from the same batch of colors and then adding colors as I need them. So I will, of course, list off the color conversion for this one once it's complete, which really won't be that long. It's kind of a 3-segment piece that folds into a drum. I might finish this one as a drum just so that I kind of have some difference between some pillows and a drum, but yeah, really pretty. It's just your traditional kind of sampler basket floral, and then the next one is a berry basket with a beautiful red bird on it, and the next one is a regular floral basket. So really excited about this because I think it's going to be gorgeous once it's done. It has these really nice red berries running down the side of it and then down this bottom border as well. So yeah, I've been working on this for the past couple days and haven't really worked on anything else, but love it. It's so cute. I think the piece is really pretty. It'll be a nice finish. WIP number 3 is one I started this year with a few of my friends. One of them, Kim, the contented needleworker Kim here on FlossTube, Rebecca from Beck Stitches Everything here on FlossTube, and one of my best friends, Brittany, who is over on Instagram. And this is Lucy Calcutt, and it's a beautiful sampler. It's absolutely gorgeous. Definitely check out their channels or check out Brittany's Instagram. She posts on her story whenever she is stitching on this, and she is so far already. She's like already at 40-something%, I want to say. I'm stitching mine on 40 count avocado. This is a beautiful fabric that I picked up from Lindy Stitches, just an amazing shop online. Let me just move my working thread out of the way. But here is where I got to this year. So absolutely love this fabric, like I said. Really, really ecstatic about that. The house, I did go ahead and make a couple of changes. The door, I went ahead and filled in fully. That is not as charted. And then I have swapped the house out to be a brighter red. It's just a DMC. If you really want to know which DMC it is, I'll pop it on the screen here, but I just love this. I don't know why I jumped in on the house, but I just kind of wanted to get it out of the way. I knew that that and the grass would be the biggest bulk area of stitching, and that was going to be the hardest to really push through, so I knew that that's what I wanted to focus in on. I do want to pull this one back out because I do have a pretty strong goal to at least get it to like 50% in the next year. I would love to actually finish it next year, but I need to be realistic with myself. I'm doing like a whole year-long no-buy, but with that, I'm hoping that starting things will alleviate the want to shop, and so I'm gonna let myself start whenever I want. But we'll see. I'd love to get this one done. I actually want to frame it and hang it up on this wall right here, but you never know. Sometimes when you finish something, you just kind of change your mind completely about how or where you're gonna put it, but it's a big piece, so I do have a full fat quarter here, and I'm really excited about it. I left myself plenty of margin and plenty of room underneath if I did want to stitch all that grass, because that's one thing about this one. I wasn't sure if I wanted to stitch all that grass, so I've kind of got that house down right. I'm gonna get the main outline of the grass done, but then the bigger kind of border underneath, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when I get there. It's one of those ones though that it's like such an achievement piece, I feel, because it's so beautiful. It's that beautiful bright red house. Well, I've turned mine into a bright red house, and it's just so stunning. I kind of want to just go for it and do the whole thing, but we'll see. My next piece, this is Emma Badman Wadford. This is an Erica Michaels pattern. Love this pattern. She actually gives you a couple of different versions of the chart when you buy it, which I think is really cool. I decided to opt for stitching the smaller version of the pattern. I'm stitching this on a 36 count Salt Ash by Cedar River. It's actually a local dyer to me. I believe Trixie Tricycle is her floss tube, and yeah, she's in Washington State. So this one is another one I'm using, just a full color conversion. Like I said, I'm on that year-long no-buy, so I'm not allowing myself to buy any new flosses, any new anything, actually. Finishing supplies, yes, but anything actually having to do with like patterns, no, I don't need anything, I'm good. But I will say I am, if I have the called for, using the called for, and if I don't have the called for, I'm looking for an absolute as close as I can get to a match. So it's not anything crazy or, adventurous here, but here's my start on this one. And as typical for myself, I have gone ahead and edited the pattern to have my own name in it. And yeah, I'm actually happy with my progress on this one this year. I do think I'm gonna go ahead and pull over this last stem and add another one of these. I just feel like it looks incomplete there, but I don't know. We'll see. This was another alphabet, and I almost wish I would have stitched it, but I just think that the alphabet didn't really add to the piece in any kind of way, and I'm definitely team like take away from the pattern if you need to kind of thing. So this one I did leave on the border because I do feel like it needs it. It encases the piece. It makes it look like it's not just floating things. But I love this one. I also really like this neutral fabric. It's very, very lightly modeled, you can tell, but it's pretty much a solid color, and I really do like that. And it's just these beautiful greens and yellows, and I love it. So I got decent progress because I think this is like the bottom. It's not very large since I am doing the smaller version, not very large. So cuts off, and there's like a big kind of almost quilt-like stitched centerpiece. There's this beautiful hummingbird though in here as well that I can't wait to get to. I think that is just stunning. So yeah, love this piece. I am excited to get back to it. I don't know if this is gonna be a finish for me next year, 2026, but I do think it's possible. I haven't written down my goals for next year though. I think I will do a separate video for that that's like goals and then what I achieved this year, so we'll see. The next piece is a piece by Teresa Calcutt. This is Come to My Garden, and this one, I don't know, every year I pull it out and every year I say, I need to get more progress on this, I need to get more progress on this, I love this piece, and every year I think it's straying a little bit further away from what I view as my style of stitching. So I don't know if this is one that I'm going to continue with. I have UFO'd some projects, and of course saved the fabric, saved the flosses. You know, I'm not actually like being wasteful about it, but this is one that I might see if I know somebody who wants to just take the pattern off my hands and take my start, because I do have like a big piece of fabric. I gave myself really good margins, or if I leave it in my stash for another year and see if I get any progress on it. But so far, I just have not been working on it, and I feel like that's a big indicator for me that I'm not super passionate about the piece. There's some pieces that I haven't worked on that it's like, oh, well, it was seasonal, so I just didn't get to it, or oh, I was just so busy at that time of the year, I didn't get to it, or, you know, whatever. But this one, I don't know, something about it, even though I really love the look of it, I'm not pulled to stitch on it. I think I just prefer more historical reproduction rather than newer samplers now. I don't know what it is just yet. So since I can't put my finger on it, I'm not parting ways with it, but it could possibly be one that does go and get the boot. So this is actually a 36 count Picture This Plus, and I think the colorway is Wren, or it's Fawn. Honestly, I can't remember. I don't think I have the tag. Oh, I do here. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, it's Fawn, 36 count Fawn. And I've got a nice big cut here, but here's my lousy little start. And look at how beautiful this fabric is. I would love to save this fabric for something else. And also, I would not give myself like this 5-inch margin. It's such a waste of fabric. But I kind of fold this up and get you guys closer. Here's where I've gotten to, but that's it. The pattern itself, I don't find it super enjoyable to stitch from because it's a spiral bound book, and even though that is convenient, you have to kind of flip between a lot of pages because there's so many page breaks. And this berry basket just about broke my brain because it was so many pages. I think it's on like 4 different pages. I mean, it's obviously a large motif, but I mean, that's probably like 4 or 5 inches wide, and you know, standard sheet of A4 paper is definitely that size. So you'd think, oh, that'll be on 1 sheet of paper. No, it's not. It's on 4, maybe 3, okay, but still, it was just something about it because so many of the leaves are the same shape and obviously the same color, and obviously the berries are all stitched very, very similarly or exactly the same. It was just kind of hard for me to figure out where I left off, where I was going, even with like the overlay, I don't know. I had a hard time. So I think that's probably the biggest reason I haven't pulled this out, is just I don't like stitching on the pattern. I don't enjoy it, but we'll see. Like I said, I'm not parting ways with it yet, but if I do, I might see if somebody I know wants it, and then if nobody wants it, I do think it would be worth it for me to pick out all of the work in here. even though it was a lot of hours of work. I think it'd be worth it to save the fabric. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. I love the cherub in this. I love everything about it. Maybe I'll force myself to pull this out in the next week, and maybe that will kind of be my signal of how I feel about actually stitching on it. So yeah, love the pattern, but something about it is just not working for me. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what that one's future is. The next pattern is one that I do have on the docket for a finish for 2026. I think I almost achieved my goal on this one this year, but I want it to be done. I want it to be hung up on my wall. I absolutely love this piece, and whenever I pull it out to stitch on it, I cannot stop. Like, I have to force myself to put it away, and I think next time I pull it out, I'm not going to force myself to put it away. I'm going to let myself stitch on it as long as I want and not feel bad if I only have one thing to show in my floss tube. But this is Remember Me, also a Teresa Kogut pattern. But see, that's what I mean. I love this one. So I don't know what it is with the last one, but this year I got a ton of progress on this piece, and I just can't wait to see it as a finish. I'm using all the called for flosses except for the house and the fence line. So when I zoom in here, you can see the fence line has a variegation to it. That is a Color and Cotton floss. And I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head. I'll have to pop it on the screen if I can find it. I did go ahead and backstitch around the actual trunk of this tree, and then I also backstitched right here and then kind of around this little door frame as well. So it's a little bit off the pattern there. And then the house itself is obviously in these teal blue colors. It's my favorite color. I love blue. I do. I love it. And I'm not afraid to admit it. But I think that it just looks so good with the fabric. Back when I first started this project, I remember being like, should I stitch this house blue or keep it as called for? The called for is kind of these like mucky brown shades. And some people, not a lot, but some people were like, no, if you stitch the house blue, it's going to stand out way too much. And that did actually give me some pause, like, oh my gosh, are you right? Like, is it just going to stand out way too much? And you know what? Now, I don't think it does. I think it pulls really nicely with the greens, and it doesn't make like the brown taupey shades be the standout factor. So I really like it. And I also think it's going to be a fun play on color once I start getting more of these pink, kind of funky flowers, because there's a few of them right next to the house here in like the garden of the house. And so I think it's going to be really fun. But I love this one. The border on it particularly is what drew me in. I love these kind of thick, almost like 1700s embroidery, like Elizabethan style embroidery. Love that. But yeah, super fun stitch. I'm enjoying it immensely. I stitched it on a 32 count Jackson Fabric Arts fabric in the colorway London Fog. I will say the dyer behind this, she did let me know that her base has changed. So this base of fabric was not a Zweigart base. It was a hemp linen base, which I actually really enjoyed. But I think a lot more people enjoy just working off of a Zweigart linen. It's a very nice, even, fabric. Just like I like working off of it. But I really like this fabric. I like the feel of it. I know it's not for everyone, but personal preference, I do enjoy it. And I really liked the way her dye kind of came out on this. And she still does have this style of dyeing. But she did say that since the base has changed, that it's possible the color looks a little bit different than what mine looks like. I don't know because I haven't ordered another piece, but maybe when I'm done with my no-buy, I will order another cut because I'm curious to see how big of a difference there is. But I do absolutely love this one. So London Fog by Jackson Fabric Arts, and yeah, it looks great. So pretty. And this one, the basket, I'm going to put the year that my great-grandma was born, and I'm going to put her initials into the piece by incorporating, there's an alphabet on the bottom, and I'm going to change her initials to be a different color in the alphabet. So that is how I will like Easter egg hide them while still making them stand out in a way. The next piece I have is a small that I actually do want to finish. I mean, if I sit down and focus on this, I could get it done this year, but who knows if I'll actually do that. This is a small from the Antique Needlework library. It's a free online resource for a bunch of different needlework, not just cross stitch, but this chart I found in there. Obviously there's no name to it or anything. It's just an old vintage chart that was reworked into a modern pattern and given a DMC conversion. And I'm stitching it 1/2 on 40 count linen. This is, I don't remember the dyer of this one, but it's called chocolate chip cookie dough, or maybe just cookie dough. I'll have to put the dyer information on the screen because I can't remember. But this is the little small, and here's where I'm at. My friend Rebecca from Beck Stitches Everything has this one as a finish, and I just need to finish it too. What am I doing with my life? Isn't this fabric great? I don't know why I'm not using this for something else. But I just think it's so pretty, and the colors really stand out on this golden fabric. I love all the green in the leaves. Sorry, I have like a random thread on there, but I love it. It's really not a difficult stitch, but for some reason I got this far and then gave up. I don't know, story of my life. But I have like one more rose and some greenery, and that's it. So it really is a very tiny pattern. I'm not sure if I'm gonna finish this into a small frame or make it into a pillow. I really don't know, but it is an absolutely gorgeous piece. So I need to get that one done. The next piece that I have, this is stitched on a Fox and Rabbit linen. It's an offcut that I have. It's a 36 count, but I cannot remember the name of it. Oh, Duxbury, that's what this one is. This piece of my Duxbury had better modeling on it than the larger, because this is from a like fat half, and this slice had like the good modeling. So I cut off the salvage of the large cut, so all of the little extra bits, and I started Midnight's Watch by Blackbird Designs. And I'm not super far into this pattern, but it is a really fun one. I'd love to get it finished. I love the house on this one. And I am using all the called for flosses, or if I didn't have the called for, I bought or I pulled from stash, like a DMC conversion, or again, just as close to the called for as I possibly could get. So nothing to write home about, no like crazy life altering changes in the colors or anything, but is definitely really cute. And I love it, the border on this one. I don't know why. I just think it's so fun and repetitive, and I love this kind of orangey golden color that's used on the actual little buds themselves. But yeah, love this. I also like the stars in the roof line. It's just super cute. And I'm stitching this 2/2 actually. Typically I would do 1/2 on 36 count, but I don't know, for some reason I went for it with the 2/2. So yeah. The next one I was really excited about because I could not wait to get my hands on this chart. This is Birds of a Feather Sally Spencer. I'm stitching this 1/2 on 40 count coffee stain, and I love this fabric. For starters, this is another Cedar River linen. It is a fabulous neutral. So if you're looking for a really good neutral, definitely check out Cedar River. I can't recommend it enough. I'm just really pleased overall. At first when I got them, I was like, oh, there's like no modeling, but some of them are really like beautifully modeled, and she has very good photos, so you can obviously tell from when you purchase, like there's no modeling on this one, there is modeling on that one. This is one that I think the modeling is just fabulous. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? I have my really bright light, so I'm hoping I'm getting good color payoff here, but oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Just gorgeous. Beautiful warm brown. I love this kind of color. For Sally Spencer though, I have gone ahead and done a full color conversion to color and cotton flosses. If you're new here, you wouldn't know this, but I love color and cotton flosses. They're my absolute favorite. I like getting the most bang for my buck when it comes to overdyed flosses. Color and cotton, you get a really good amount for the price you're paying. Here is my little start. Oh, it's so pretty. I started this one with Elizabeth, Frizzy Lizzy Stitches. Just absolutely love her. She is using, I believe, the called for, or maybe a color and cotton conversion that's really close to the called for. I can't remember. Elizabeth, what are you using? Anyway, this, I kept to a lot of these kind of colors, but the bird, I felt like on the cover looked like it was hot pink, and I just had so much fun. I don't know. I really liked it. So I wanted to do the hot pink with that teal blue, and I chose like a dark black that was modeled with a nice deep navy, and I absolutely love it. I love it so much. I know the blue is not like in your face, but in person it's very legible. You could definitely see the blue. I just have really bright lights on, so the blue of course is not shining through quite the way it does to the natural eye. But yeah, I love this one. My son actually accidentally poked a hole in it. He's almost 2, so I'm gonna forgive him, but I actually, when I was ironing it, was like, honestly, it's not even noticeable. So I might pull this one back out and get some work on it, but I would like to get this one to 50% next year for sure, because I love this one. So cute, and I love this fabric. The next piece is a really big one that I absolutely love. This is the 2022 Modern Folk Embroidery Stitch Along, and I absolutely love Jacob's patterns. This one particularly resonated with me after I saw Cam from Cam the Stitcher. I absolutely love her, and she is stitching hers on a similar like creamy white fabric, and I was like, oh, I have to copy that. I need that. And so I did go ahead and I purchased a 36 count. It's a 36 or a 32. That doesn't really matter at the grand scheme of things, but I picked up this linen from Fiber on a Whim. This is Cream and Sugar, of course, again, one of my favorite neutrals. And I am stitching this with Color and Cotton in the colorway Cloves. And I just love this one. I cannot wait to get it done. I know, and I say that and I'm like, look at all the fabric I still have left. Also, look at my ironing. See where I stopped? I said, I'm gonna iron just the stitched part. And I did continue doing that for the rest of these pieces. But I do almost have this whole upper section done, guys. Like, that's really good for me. You can really see the modeling as well here because I have my bright lights. So let me just highlight this gorgeous, softly modeled fabric. We love to see it. We love to see it. So I've obviously gone in and stitched in my name, Megan Babauta. Got my 2 little cherubs here. I've got my border, which at some point at the very beginning point, I messed up and I continued to mess it up. And so now I'm committed to the bit. So what happened is every single one of these legs, I want to say this way or this way, no, it has to be these legs, is 1 stitch too short. So the repeat is faster than the one that's actually in the piece, but I don't mind it. I don't know. I'm just gonna, because my last name is pretty long anyways, I am going to continue to stretch this out until it closes around here, and I'm gonna call it a day, girl. I don't mind at all. I might end up having to fill in or move motifs slightly over and kind of get like, you know, a little bit of a different spacing, but because the pattern is really, it's not a mirror image. Some things are, so like you have your guys holding the grapes here, which I think is like a biblical reference, but they're mirroring each other. But then you come up here and you've got this guy, and I don't have one of those over here, I don't believe. And then I've got what are these called? I want to call it an ostrich, but that's not right. A peacock, right? I don't have an Alexa in here, so I can't ask. Pretty sure that's what these birds are called. And mom brain is full effect, okay? But then over here, it's just more like a birdhouse sort of thing. And I've got this little deer over here. So really love this. Every time I pull it out, I try to get a couple of motifs done. But yeah, I love this one. I also just think it's gonna look great with my wall color and everything, you know? I love seeing the vision of something. Like, that's what gets me, man. Seeing something like up on the wall, envisioning it all together. So, love it. Next piece, this is a huge piece. This is a Seasons of Friendship Quaker. I think that's what it's called. Seasons of Friendship Quaker. That seems wrong for some reason. This is a pattern that is only in stock occasionally, as I found, because it took me forever to actually find it. But luckily, with the help of Cam over at Cam Stitcher, she was at a cross stitch shop and they had it. And I ended up calling in over the phone and getting it on the phone. And I have no regrets. What can I say? And this one I am stitching on a, I believe, 40 count. yeah, so this is a half yard of 40 count antique white. It's just kind of stapled on here down at the bottom. So just a completely plain white fabric. The reason I've gone with this fabric is I've decided to go with a really dramatic floss. And the floss that I picked is Dracula by Color and Cotton. And you do need a lot of skeins of this. So buy extra if you know that you are someone who like is not using up every last bit of that floss. Like buy yourself tons of extra. So make sure they've got enough in stock over there if that's what you're looking for. I did actually look on Black Friday though, because I was window shopping. Don't worry, I didn't buy anything. I was good. But they did have Dracula in stock. So I've got a bunch of skeins of it, and I haven't gotten any progress on this year, but I do plan to pull it out, of course, because it's the holiday season and I am in the winter quadrant. So some of you guys might see your initials. This piece, I have been asking for initials from my viewers for the different quadrants. So like this is the winter season. And so I've just said like, you know, if you are born in the winter months, of course I'm in the United States. So bear with me because I know people will let me know that it's not winter where they live. But for me, these all symbolize what I view as winter. So, you know, like January, December, all those fun things. And I asked people to leave me a comment of their initials if they would like. And I've been keeping a running list of the names in a notebook, and I have been stitching in the names as I go. So you might see some of the initials, or you might see your own initials. And I love this one. Super fun. It actually was just Marjorie's birthday, and Marjorie is in this quadrant. So happy birthday to you, Marjorie. But yeah, I love this piece. I've got like Carrie from Tiger Lily. I've got Marjorie from Marjorie Made. I've got Elizabeth from Frizzy Lizzy Stitches. I mean, I've got so many of you guys in here now, but so fun. It's kind of like a floss tube, friends, and just, you know, viewership. It's like a remembrance piece for my time here on FlossTube, because I really don't know how long it'll be, you know? I don't know how long I'll do this, but it's been a good few years now, and I don't imagine myself stopping. But yeah, I'm just in that upper quadrant, and I guess I didn't realize how little it was. This is one page, and the pages are like large, like the legal paper, so it is just like with that 1/2, but the full A4 size. And each quadrant is essentially 2 A4 sheets of paper. So like right here is the page break. So I have like a little bit left, kind of a repeat of this size, but that'll be the full winter quadrant. And I think I got all of this done pretty much in the first year I stitched it. So I should be able to, if I focus in this month, December, I should be able to get the other side, but I've kind of got other goals right now. So I don't know if I'm gonna do holiday stitching, but we'll see. The next pattern is White Winter Moth. This is a beautiful chart. I love it. I believe this is a Kathy Barrick chart. I'll of course have corrected myself if I was wrong. But for some reason, every time I pull it out to work on it, I'm just not, I don't know, I'm not here for it. I don't know what it is about it. I'm stitching 1/2 on the 36 count. I am doing the called for DMCs, which is funny. I thought it was gonna be like black and gray and white, but it's actually like a kind of muted seafoam and teal color with the white. And maybe that's what's pulling me off of it, which is weird because I love blue, so it shouldn't be. But I'm not a big like dark teal fan, and I don't know. Either I work on this year and I get it done, or I have to UFO it. That's gonna be my rule for this year. And I'm stitching, like I said, 1/2, and this is Be Stitch Me in the colorway Honey. Really good fabric, love the fabric, but yeah, it's more this color, as you can see back here. Like a true honey golden color. But here's where I've gotten to. I've got about almost half of the moth wing done. I've got the outline of this first kind of Quaker down here done. These little daffodils, which are super cute. A couple of small kind of snowflake motifs up there. Really pretty piece, but I don't know, I never feel like working on it. The next pattern is such a funny, weird pattern. I'll have to pop a picture on the screen because I don't remember the name of the pattern, and I'll pop it, of course, in the corner, as I hope I've been doing for all these. But I'm stitching this 1/2, all with Vicki Clayton hand-dyed silk. So pulling from my stash of Vicki Claytons, I don't have them all listed out anywhere, but they're beautiful silks. Absolutely love them. I'm just kind of pulling as close as I can get to the called for. Again, nothing revolutionary. You'd be good to go with just getting the called for, but I had these in stash and I wanted to use them, so that's what I'm doing. This is being stitched 1/2 on Cream and Sugar, which is in a 36 count for this one. And yeah, this pattern is just so wackadoodle and weird, and I love it. I love the floral basket. I love the weird dog specifically. That's actually why Rebecca and I wanted to start it. The weird dog. Its face is just horror. It looks traumatized, honestly. I started at the top though, because I also love this Gothic alphabet. This is like one of my favorite styles of alphabet. I know it's not for everyone, but I really love it. So went ahead and started up at the top, and yeah, I think this is like 1 page height-wise, I want to say, but really fun piece. I don't know why I ended up putting it away, but I need to just pull it back out and kind of work on it for a few more days at a time, because I think Rebecca's already done. Yeah, she's done with hers. But this is a really fun one, and the colors are fun. The silks are absolutely gorgeous. They do just kind of glow on the fabric, especially this golden yellow. It just is so beautiful. It looks so like luxe, you know, it just looks great. The next pattern is a Halloween one. This is Lady Halloween by Jardine Privé. I'm stitching this one with all DMC 310. So there'll be a little bit of work that I have to do with some of the bottles and the apothecary stands that are behind her, and maybe switch some of the full stitches to back stitching so it looks more like a shadow effect. But I have decided to follow through just stitching it all with 310. I don't remember where I saw it, but I swear I saw someone had finished it in all 310 and I liked the way it looked. I'm stitching this on a 28 count 2/2, and this is the vintage smoky white. So it's like the vintage country mocha, but the light version of it. And I actually really like the fabric in a 28 count. It's great. I don't even think that the printed modeling looks too repetitive, so I really like it. It's also not like too standout, you know, like it's, the pattern is not fighting with the modeling on the fabric. And here is where I got to. I don't know if I pulled this one out this year. The Halloween season really got away from me. We had recently moved into this house, and just everything with the kids and moving and painting and all that good stuff, I really got sidetracked and didn't get much done. So yeah, I like this. I love the piece. I do want to continue stitching it. I love the coverage of it. I really want an all black Halloween piece like this. I think it's just so fun, and it'll be a really good one to put up in the holidays. Plus it's going to be rather large because it's a 28 count, and I think that's really fun. So it'll make a bigger statement, like a bigger impact as a fun Halloween piece. The next one is another Halloween piece that I wanted to finish this year, but I just couldn't get to it. I kept saying it was going to be a finish, it's going to be a finish. I just couldn't make it happen. This Halloween season went by like that. Honestly, all the holidays have. And this is a welcome Halloween sign, and I can't remember the designer for these, but obviously it'll be on the screen. I am stitching this 2/2 on a 32 count in a plain Zweigart base. I don't remember the name of this though. I kept wanting to say that this was flax, but this is not flax. I've since bought several pieces of flax and I realized it's just not quite the same. This one is a little bit more gray toned. So I'm not quite sure what this is, maybe platinum, I don't know. But I do really like this one. I'm doing a color conversion to just, again, stash that I had DMCs with a couple of overdyes that are as close to the called for cover photo as I could get. And obviously I don't have very much left to do, which is why I kept saying it was going to be a finish. I have a couple more letters and then all the backstitch, but for me, backstitch, I don't mind it at all. I enjoy doing it, so I think that it'll go by really quickly once I do sit down and get it going. I know that this orange was actually the first color in cotton floss that I ever used, and I absolutely love it. Now, upon reflection, I stitched it this direction, and I wish I would have gone this way to make it look more like a pumpkin, you know? But it still looks great. I love it. It's kind of like a pink orange. I think it was called Warning Signs, and yeah, it looks awesome. I love it. Definitely a standout piece. I love the white on this kind of plain tan gray fabric. Just love it. The next one is a sampler. This is Every Opening Flower by Brenda Gervais, which is With Thy Needle and Thread. I'm stitching this on a 40 count ledger by Bestitch Me. It was a fabric of the month, so I don't know if it's one that you can get right now, but I do love this fabric. It ended up working great for this piece. And I am using the silk conversion that Vicki Clayton Hand Dyed Silks has in her shop. And here is where I've gotten to. These silks are so buttery smooth that they just glide through the fabric. and it looks fabulous. I love this piece. I keep telling myself every year, you gotta pull it out, you gotta work on it. I love everything about it, colors, everything. For some reason, I just never get around to it. So I don't know, but I do love it. It's gorgeous. Look at that fabric, the softness of these colors. It's just so pretty. Next up is another sampler. This is by Hemlock and Rye. It's called the Misspelt Sampler. I'm stitching this 1/2 on a 36 or a 40 count. It's always hard to tell because it's a picture this plus, so I can't tell, and I don't have the tag for it any longer, but the color was champagne, and I love the color of this fabric. It's a nice like golden champagne color, of course, but it's a nice creamy base, so it's just lovely. And I'm using all the called for flosses, which are just a fun array of like really bright colors, and I just love this one. I want to get it finished. I do. I love the mix of the colors with the fabric that I picked. I think that they're so fun and they're so bright, and I don't know. I liked how this all was misspelled as well. That's why it's called the Misspelt Sampler. But I don't know, for some reason, I just haven't pulled it out. I get too distracted by new and shiny things, which all ties back to my no buy. So I need to get the house going and maybe get some more progress on that, and that'll kind of be my push through. I actually enjoy stitching houses, but that one had like kind of some weird color changes, because obviously the original person who stitched the sampler, they put in like some kind of motif into the house, and I think I was just having a hard time following along with that, but I don't know if I would have necessarily a hard time any longer, since I've obviously gotten a little bit more experience with cross stitch. So I just need to pull my digital file of this one back on out and get to stitching, because it's really not that big. Like, this is the full piece with a nice, you know, 2-inch margin on each side. I think maybe even a little more over here, but you get that one going. There is a double border in this one. I started stitching it, you can see there, but I realized quickly that after one strand of floss, it was just not worth adding in. So I'm gonna rip out that one strand and do the main border, but not that interior border, since it disappears on my fabric. And yeah, I love this next piece might be one that ends up getting cut short. I am using a scrap piece of fabric that I think is called Spiced Honey, and this I got off of 123 Stitch, so I don't remember the name of the dyer, but I think it might be Color and Cotton. I really can't remember, so I'll have to pop it on the screen, of course. But this is another Antique Needlework Library pattern that this one is not converted to a new pattern, and it's kind of miserable to work off of the existing pattern. I just loved it so much that I don't want to give up on it. And I love the colors that I picked. I picked a Gloriana Silk in Pacific Blue, and I am stitching it 1/2 on the 36 count. Here is where I've gotten to, and this floss is just gorgeous. And you can see how like dark, it's almost like a cardboard color or a graham cracker or something, like a ginger snap cookie. I don't know. It's just a really, really beautiful warm color. And I love the really deep navy, and it's silk, so the shine is gorgeous. It just is so pretty. And I don't want to give up on it because it's so pretty. It's like a thistle in a vase that has this checkerboard pattern that is amazing. But wow, is the chart hard to follow. It's a hand-drawn chart by a lady who had like over 300 pages that were scanned into this Antique Needlework Library of just hand-drawn random symbols and alphabets and motifs that she must have gathered from just her time as a stitcher. But not sure where she got this one. It's just beautiful though. I mean, come on, look at that silk. The Glorianas really are, wow, showstoppers, that's for sure. I think you can really tell right here too how just the beautiful shine. Ugh. And the variegation is just lovely. It looks so intentional without being so. I mean, I've just stitched my way down, nothing fancy, but wow. I don't want to give up on this one. It's just that chart, but it is such an impactful piece. I think from far away, it almost looks like it's black on the fabric. And it's so pretty. I also didn't realize too, when I pulled this lady's chart and printed it, it didn't I did not realize how big this piece was, but it's literally going to be like 17 inches long. It's huge. And this is probably already, so my hand is like 5 inches, maybe a little bit over, like 5.5 inches. And this is like almost my full hand. So this has got to be like 4 inches worth of stitching. So I got another, 10 or so. And I just cannot believe that she's going to be that big, but she's a beauty. The next sampler is a Little Robin Designs. I'll have to pop it on the screen. I can't remember the name of this one off the top of my head, but I'm stitching it 1/2 on alabaster in a 40 count. That's just like a plain Zweigart fabric, so nothing exciting, but I wanted to keep it simple because the flosses on this one are so fun. I actually pulled from Stash and did a full color and cotton conversion, but again, nothing revolutionary. I pulled everything that looked as close to the call for as possible. I actually do want to get this one as a finish next year because it's a pretty small piece and I think it's going to look really good. I think it's going to look great. But here is my little quadrant done. This is the first page done and it's a pretty small project. So this is actually the center and I just got a little bit more to go on the bottom and a little bit over here, of course, but it's really not much. I don't know why I didn't get it finished. I actually started this with my friend Kim over at the Connect and Needle Worker Kim, and she finished hers already and it just looks fabulous. So I need to get to working on this and get this one knocked out. It might be a finish in the summer or spring. I think it's just such a fun one because the colors are so fun. And I don't know, I just like these bright colors always read summer, springtime to me. So there's a lot of pool stitching involved here, but I always tell myself like, yeah, I'm gonna bring a project to the pool and I'm gonna stitch the whole time, and I never end up stitching. I always ended up like obsessively watching Amira at the pool because I was obviously scared something was gonna happen to her. But surprise, she was fine. I could have been stitching the whole time. But we'll see. There's plenty of splash pad stitching time in my future, but this is still an absolutely fun one. And I love it. I love the orange tree. It's just so pretty. And I love color and cottons. They look so good on this fabric. I think specifically the color and cottons on a 40 count, like plain old Zweigart. Oh, they look so good. Just nice, full, plump little stitches. I swear, I don't know what it is about like this alabaster. I always feel like my stitches look so good on it. And I don't know what that is. I just love it. Next is a small that I either need to finish the next time I pull it out or throw it away because what is wrong with me? This is a Plum Street sampler called Autumn Cottage. I started this one with one of my really good stitchy friends, Bridget, over at the Museum Stitcher. She, of course, has hers finished and has for quite some time. I have used all the called for flosses on a 40 count. This is Vintage Country Mocha, and yeah, it's a really tiny little pattern. I have barely any house left. It's literally like a little bit more down here, a couple more windows, and then this vine kind of repeats over here. You can see I've started the stretch, and that's it. Which this vine would take me like a day of stitching, but I don't know. I just put it away and then never pulled it back out. Story of my life, but I'm trying to be better. Big goals for next year. We'll see what happens, but this one I definitely want to just pull out and get it finished and make it into a small pillow. Because when I first started stitching this, I was a big framed piece person, and now I'm slowly converting to a pillow finish person, and I want some pillows. So this will be a good one. Just so I can kind of pop it up on a shelf, and it'll be really cute. Next one is from a creepy cross stitch book. This designer is Tusk and Cardinals, I want to say, on Instagram. And my husband got me this book after I had sent him a picture of this pattern. It's called Lover's Tree. It's in that book though, so you have to buy the book to be able to get the chart. And I am stitching this 1/2 on a 40 count Finian by Seraphim Fabrics. I got this fabric from Lindy Stitches as well. Love her shop. It's absolutely amazing. Definitely go check it out if you're in the mood to do some shopping. I am about 50% done with this pattern, and I just need to get it done. I have a like frame for it and everything already picked out, ready to go. It's a nice oval frame that I found thrifting, but for some reason I keep putting it away. I like pull it out and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get it done, and then I end up putting it away. So I have done a full color conversion, again, as close to the called for as possible, but the biggest thing for me was I didn't want to use, I think like it's called for like over 20 flosses, and the pattern is small. And you can see, because this is the tree, there's going to be the other tree right over here, and that's the whole pattern. So it's going to be like this big, you know? It's pretty small. And I was lazy, and so I pulled some color and cotton overdyes so that I would get these kind of variegated effects of multiple, you know, colors being stitched with it just being one floss. So all overdyes from Color and Cotton. And then the trees, I think, are a classic Colorworks that I had in stash. But I love it. I kind of wish that I would have altered this to have the moon a little bit bigger, but I kind of like the dynamic that it plays, that it's like far in the background and the trees are really the forefront. So I just need to get it done. I do want this one done next year, so this will be a finish for next year, but I really like this fabric. It's kind of a blue-gray. It was such a weird one. It was like hard to tell what the color would look like in person, so I ordered a piece just because, and really happy I did, because this is a great neutral. I think blues, grays, purples can be a neutral, especially in this kind of tone of those colors, you know? It's very soft. The next one is a out of print chart, so my apologies, it's not one that you can readily get, but this is a Blackbird Designs, and this is, man, now I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. I almost have it as a finish though, so this will definitely be a finish for next year. It's just one that I felt was very spring summer, so again, I put it away because we're moving into the, you know, already have moved into the fall, but we're moving into the winter now. And I'm stitching this on my scrap that was left of Ledger in that 40 count. And I'm doing a full color conversion. If I had the called for, I used it. If I didn't, again, as close to the called for as I could get to as possible. And here is where I have gotten to. So you guys have seen this one relatively recent if you have watched my floss tube. And I have like a little bit of alphabet left and then just a nice big border. There's these two beautiful poppy like plants next to the house, and she'll be done. So definitely one I can get finished for next year. I have a really cool frame picked out for this as well, so I think it'll fit perfectly in there. If I don't end up using that frame, I definitely will just find something at the thrift store, because I love thrifting frames. But this is a really fun one, and I love the ledger. It's like perfect for the piece, that golden yellow with the blue. It's like a beautiful summer sky. Next is a wonderful Quaker. This is Beatrix Potter Quaker Sampler. I think this is a stitchy box pattern if I'm correct, and you can buy the PDF online. I was able to snag this up at my local LNS, which is Thread Needle Street over in Issaquah, Washington. I am stitching this with Dinky Dyes Silks in the colorway Fireside. It's kind of like a rust red color, and I'm stitching it 1/2 on 36 count or 32 count. I can't remember now. And this is Duxbury by Fox and Rabbit. I know that this cut of Duxbury is quite dark compared to the newer pieces of it, so just be mindful of that. If you were looking for something that is exactly this color, I don't know if that's what you're gonna get, but I do love this color with my floss choice. And I've got a good portion of this done. I really wanted to get it to 70% this year though, and I did not meet that goal, unfortunately. I still have time, of course, because it is just the beginning of December, but I have time to get it to that point, but I would have to work on it like the rest of this month. And my goal right now is to get a bunch of pillow finishes so that I can buy finishing supplies for them in January with a couple of my floss tube girlfriends that I'm gonna meet up with. So that's my bigger goal right now, and this one is such a joy to stitch on, and I love Dinky Dyes Silks. It's my absolute favorite silk, so I'll never tire of it. I don't mind that it's still a WIP at all. I've obviously made some changes. I have NB to DB, so from me to my husband, Daniel, and I just love this. It's so pretty. And when you really, like, if you are into these kind of Quaker sampler pieces, you probably know, you pull this out and you just cannot stop working on it. That's how I felt every time I've worked on this. I did not want to put it away, so I love it. This year, for sure, though, I noticed within myself that I have veered away from Quakers and gone much more into the realm of reproductions and samplers, and I think that might play a role in why I didn't work on this one at all this year. I might have in the beginning of the year, which I could end up doing again, or maybe I'll work on it for my New Year's 12 by 12 and put like 6 hours into it. I don't know, but it's a big one. So I did cut off the extra on this side, but I have left the bottom. So I'm leaving it open to see where it takes me on the bottom, but hopefully I'll have a little bit of extra down there as well. I always like to have some scraps for smalls. Yeah, really beautiful. I am very happy with my color choice here. I think it looks so good. And I know I do this all the time, but I have this perfect empty spot that I can show you guys like the color against my wall, and I really like this one. Next is a really fun Halloween piece. This is Silhowitches by Teresa Calcutt. It is such a fun one. I really need to work on this one. I'm stitching this on another Jackson Fabric Arts fabric. This is Burnt Sienna. It's a wonderful pumpkin orange, and I am using Anchor Black thread with the called for green, which I think is like a Weeks floss. I can't quite remember now, but love her. Isn't that so fun? The green just pops out at you. The black floss is so full coverage. I had, when I first started stitching, heard a lot about Anchor and how it is a more like fluffy floss. So the black really does just like it gives you really good coverage. So that's why I wanted to try it out for this piece, and I don't regret it. I think it does look great. And I mean, even like the outline here and the little vampire guy Dracula down here, I feel like they really are very full coverage. Like you cannot see the fabric through it at all, and I really do like that. So yeah, I would say it's true. The Anchor floss does look fabulous. Next is 17th Century Death Notice. I'm using a Gloriana floss again for this one, I want to say. It's antique black, and I'm stitching it 1/2 on a 40 count grandpa's sleeve by XJU Designs. And this is a really fun fabric, so I'll highlight the fabric first. It kind of has like a wrong side and a right side, I've noticed. It's more like a speckled sort of fabric, but the repeat is very like intentional. So you got like the orange dots, and then you've got a flaring of the gray speckles. It's a really fun fabric. And I was originally stitching this for the top of my stitchy box, but honestly, I don't really use my stitchy box as much as I did when I was living in my apartment. Since now I have a whole craft room, I tend to craft up here, so I don't really have a use for the stitchy box, but I am gonna finish this and I think either make it into a pillow, because I'm not planning to stitch the whole piece, or I will frame it because it is a cool one. And so I don't want to UFO it because I love it so much. It's so fun. I've got like the skeleton guy started over here. There'll be an actual man on this side, and I am cutting it off right there. But I did want to rechart in here and put like, I don't know, some kind of cross stitch related quote. I can't remember what I thought of. I'll have to go back and watch my own video. Because I had an idea for a quote, and now I can't remember it. Story of my life. But yeah, how fun is that? Next is a really fun one. This is a primitive hair pattern. I'm using all the called for flosses and the called for fabric, and this is Practical Magic. I love this piece. I actually started with, again, my friend Bridget over at the Museum Stitcher. I'm stitching this 2/2 on that called for fabric, and I need to get going on this one because it's actually one of my favorite Halloween movies. I will watch it at any point of the year though. Honestly, absolutely love it. I only have the P started for Practical Magic. Oh, I guess I have the R in there too, but I need to get her finished, or at least get going. I feel like this is the saddest start ever. It's such a fun one. It's a lot more green than I was expecting in person. I feel like you guys can't, oh yeah, you can tell there. It's very green. And when I looked at the cover photo, it didn't look green to me, so I was a little bit shocked. I think that I did have to make a couple of changes down at the two sisters at the bottom. There's a like overcoat kind of situation they're wearing to look, you know, make them look more witchy. And I noticed that the hair and the coat were kind of just matching and blending together. So I do think I swapped out one of my flosses to be Swamp Water, which is a, I think Weeks Dye Works fabric, it's a floss. So I did do some changing with the hair and the jacket or cloak of one of the sisters, the one that's played by Sandra Bullock with the brown hair. But that's the only thing I'm planning on changing. And I did recently, actually this year, pick up the pins for this one because my local LNS had them. When I first picked this up to stitch it, I wasn't really into the pins and the like extra things that came with cross stitching, like beads or like, you know, all that. It just wasn't my thing, but now it is my thing. So I picked up all the extra little pins that go into this one, and I can't wait to get it done because I think it'll be really cute. There was a long pause between these two clips being filmed, so my apologies if there's like an abrupt end to the last one. My son, he woke up from his nap. I just put him down for his second nap, which is dangerous territory as an almost 2-year-old, because it's either they take the nap and then it could be too long of a nap and then that's bad, or they don't take the nap and that's also bad. So I don't have very many WIPs left. I just have a few, so I'm gonna kind of run right through them. Luckily, these are ones that the fabric and the flosses are all in kits. They're either Riolas, Magic Needle, etc. And that makes it extremely easy because the details are just, this is a kit by XYZ. The first one is the only one that's not necessarily, oh, I lied, I had another one mixed in. Okay, I'll do this one first then. So this one is actually from Just Cross Stitch Magazine. The next two are going to be Just Cross Stitch Magazine pieces. This is from the, I want to say the autumn 2022 edition of Just Cross Stitch, and this is a tiny modernist pattern which has been released as its own, so you don't necessarily have to do this one as like getting the PDF of the magazine and going and getting, you know, you could just go ahead and get the PDF directly from her. It is a super cute pattern. As soon as I saw it, I knew I had to stitch it. I really wanted to finish this one this year, actually. I thought I was gonna pull it out in the autumn, but honestly, things just got too crazy with the house buying, and I kind of jumped in right away to like painting the rooms, painting the ceilings, changing out lights, like getting the craft room. So it's been a busy time, but this one I have on hand dyed by myself. I dyed it for myself, some Ada, and I believe this was an 18 count, which I kind of shrunk down to a 16 count. And I'm using all the called for DMCs. So here is where I got to. I feel like this looks really good. I think it looks great. I did decide, of course, to darken up the fabric significantly from the called for. The called for was like a really light blue. There is also additionally like a kind of quote in the center on the pathway, and I might just have to completely eliminate that because I think it's just not going to show up on my fabric. And I don't know, even if I backstitched it with white in 2 strands, if it would show up. I'm not really sure. If you guys have any recommendations of what I should do there, I was thinking like maybe making the pathway look like an intentional like little gravel path and then putting the words within that. I'm not sure, because this is really a piece that I could leave up all autumn. It wouldn't have to be one that I only hang up for Halloween. So I kind of like that, and I'm just kind of stuck right now on what to do for the quote. I could always just leave it off, but we'll see. I'm about 50% on the pattern. I think like underneath this house is the halfway point, and I'm doing 2/1 on the Ada that I dyed. The next one, again, from a autumn Just Cross Stitch magazine. I think this one was 2023 or 2024. This is, I want to say Autumn Light, Autumn Lantern, something like that. And I did decide to, of course it's all DMC flosses for both of these, but this one I decided to stitch on a 32 count 2/2, and this is a Zweigart, just plain old flax fabric. And I just have a really tiny start for this one, but I do love it. It looks so good. I love it on this fabric. My friend Rachel over at Lemonade Stitching, go check out her channel. She has this one as an FFO. I want to say last year maybe she finished it, but it just looks so good. The detail that they put into the light on this one, it looks amazing. Like it truly looks like just like sunlight is being cast down onto this lantern or something. I don't know, it looks fabulous. So I also love all the little back stitching. It really adds to this piece. I did pick up some Mill Hill beads as well, the little tiny, like, what are they called? Seed beads or sea beads? But anyways, I picked up some of those so that I could add the beads where the, what I believe is supposed to be like snowflakes all over the piece. So it'll be a little bit more 3D, but I think it's just gorgeous. So those are my only 2 Just Cross Stitch magazine pieces. The rest are kits. The first kit here is a Magic Needle kit. This is sunflowers and rowan berries, I believe. and I am not very far on this one. It's just so fun to stitch, and I don't know, sometimes I just really get like an itch to stitch on Ada, to stitch on a kit, those bright colors, everything being provided for you. Something about it is like really comforting, almost in like a 90s nostalgic way, even though I wasn't a stitcher and I obviously didn't really like know anyone. I mean, my aunt stitched, but I didn't know that she had stitched until just recently, like in the past 4 years. So anyways, here's my progress on this one. Just something about it. I don't know, I love it. The next kit I have is, I want to say it's called Rose in a Vase or something like that, but this is such a measly start. This is a start that I bought the kit, I was gonna stitch it for my mom, and then I realized Realism kits are just not my favorite. And it's not that the kits are not my favorite, because I actually love them. They're some of my favorite to choose from selection wise, so I will bear with it, but the patterns are not my favorite. I don't like how saturated the colors are in the pattern. It makes it really hard to mark off, but I do think that you can now contact Realism and get a saga pattern. So I might do that for this one. I think it would be immensely helpful, and I'm not very far on this pattern at all, so it's always one that I could possibly restart as well if I couldn't figure out where I was, but I'm just in the upper corner. It's one of those ones that is also annoying because it's almost all dark stitching, but there is a bunch of confetti. So you can see all this is just confetti, even though it's all dark and just muddy, dark brown, green colors. So it feels so silly to have all of this confetti, but at the end of the day, it really does pay off. And that's one thing that Realism does just beautifully, is the contrast of colors, the blended stitches, all that, it really does pay off in the end. So I have, you know, that dark background, and then I'm fading in here to the green of one of the leaves of the rose that's in here. I think it's called like Rose and Cherries or something like that. I can't quite remember, but it'll be on this. This one I absolutely love. I can't wait to pull her back out. I love the image. Love the piece itself. I can't wait to have it finished and framed. I think it'd look gorgeous in like an ornate golden or wooden frame. And here is where I'm at on this one. So I've actually got the little lady that's standing there. This is the start of the house. That's like some vines going up on a door, I believe. That's the roof line. This is obviously the road, and then this is the kind of bridge situation that's happening. This is her little garden door, her side window to the house, another side window. This is the start of the side of the house, and there's kind of like a garden area. Some vines working their way down the home. It's just amazing. This Luca S kit is fabulous. I got this because it reminded me of a kit that my friend Cam had and had finished when she had like first, I think she showed it when she first started filming her floss tubes. And it's so funny, you know, year passes, I'm close friends with her now, messaging back and forth, that kind of thing. And I was like, oh, I bought this pattern because it reminded me of that one that you stitched. And she was like, girl, that is the one I stitched. So I guess it really spoke to me. The image really speaks to me, because I did indeed buy the exact one like a year later, because it's just gorgeous. I love the way the stitches look. It's 2/1 on this Ada. I don't remember what count it is, but of course it's just what's in the kit. So if you were to buy it, it'd be the exact same one, but it is a full coverage piece, so it's obviously a lot of stitching. You can always, you know, shrink down and just stitch whatever you want to stitch, but I love it. The next one is an Alexandra kit. This one is, I don't know the name of it. It's a Halloween one though, and I think it's called like Magic Shop. I really liked it because it gave that like wizards and kind of magical effect of Halloween, but I ended up actually replacing the Ada with Ada from Stash. So this is just Zweigart Ada, because so much better. The one that was in the actual like kit was so dry feeling, and it was just like tearing up my flosses. I'm not a big fan of the flosses that came in the kit, but this is significantly better, and I do think that they're laying nicer on this nicer fabric. So I did make that change to this one, but I just have a tiny little start. This is the start of a door. It's like a wooden door, and this dark here is the glass, and there's like a closed sign on the door, but I don't know if this is one I'm going to keep or not. I haven't pulled it back out because I didn't enjoy stitching this when I first started it, but you know what? It could be one of those things that now since I'm a little bit more experienced with stitching, that I don't mind it so much. Again, all of these are like full coverage. So it's just one of those ones where it's like, I'm only gonna be able to have it up in the autumn, and full coverage is a lot. It's not usually my bag, you know, it's not my thing. So I don't know if I'll keep it or if I will pass the stash, but I'm happy to have it, and it's a fun piece. One is a magic needle kit. I love magic needle. I think their patterns are so beautiful. Just some lovely colors, beautiful scenery. I really like that they use Zweigart Aida as well. It's nice, and they typically have a 14 count Aida, so it is very easy to work with. And yeah, their pieces are just lovely. So I have Singing Robins. I'm pretty sure that's what this one is called. And here is where I've gotten to. Really not a massive project. It's like a string of these bells. I forget what these flowers are called. I'm sure someone's screaming and at their screen right now, but I forget what these are called. But anyways, it's like a couple strands of those, and then just some beautiful flowers underneath. And then these little bees, they're so cute. I almost wish that my daughter was still a little baby so that I could like hyper focus on this and put it in her nursery or something, because it's so sweet looking and just so pretty. Again, another one that I have no idea where I would hang this in my house. It doesn't match like my everyday style at all, but it's so fun to stitch, and I just crave this kind of stitching sometimes. The next piece is actually a recreation of a famous painting. This is a Real Liz kit. You guys know like I said, love Real Liz because I love the patterns. It's just one of those things where the actual like chart itself is really difficult for me to follow. I have a hard time. But this piece, it's, oh man, the colors. I think this is a Renoir painting. Renoir is one of my favorite artists. I just think that, I don't know, the strokes of the painting. I love the plays on color. I loved the colors of this one, particularly how warm and golden they were. But here is where I've gotten to. So from far away, I feel like it looks more like roses. Close up, it looks less so. But it's hard because this kind of style of painting, the style of and have those thick brush strokes, it's so hard to capture and cross stitch, but Real Liz does it really, really well. So it's like a start of a really bright red rose, then you move into these burnt yellow oranges and this dark in between the flowers. I love it. This is one that is interesting too because it is a blend of the cotton floss as well as the wool acrylic, and I feel like I'm getting better. I'm getting the hang of that as well, so I don't feel like my stitches look so bad this time around, which is always fun. Like, it's fun to kind of figure out your groove and figure out how to stitch with a new medium, so that's fun. Next is a dimensions kit. Actually, the next two, being the last two, are both dimensions. This is a not out of print kit. This is, I think it's called On His Sleigh or something like that. It's a dimensions gold, maybe. Could just be one of the plain. I think it's dimensions gold. Yeah, it's dimensions gold, and it is a stocking. I do have stockings for everyone in my family, myself, my husband, and my son and daughter. I just don't know who's getting which one. And I started this one, was really gung-ho about it, super fun. I actually really want to pull it out and work on it, but I want to finish these smalls so bad that I'm forcing myself to finish those, and then maybe I'll have some time to get back to this guy. But look at how good he looks. He looks amazing. I just love the colors. It's so fun. And even like the highlight in the beard, the beautiful bright reds, it's just so Christmassy. I love it so much. I don't know, I want to put everything else down and work on him. There's back stitching in here too that I kind of want to get to, and I realized I think it's best to back stitch as you go with these, so I think I should start back stitching. I don't really know, but I mean, that's a pretty good chunk. Like, it's probably about 4 inches worth of stitching in the stocking, which is not bad, and considering, you know, here's the full thing. I'm a little worried that maybe I should have put this over here. I didn't think about that, because obviously the foot of the stocking, oh no, maybe I've made a mistake. I did just go starting in the center, but maybe I messed that up. Oh well, if I did, I did. It's okay. I'll make him into a pillow. And last but not least is a absolutely beautiful Dimensions kit that is sadly out of print. I was able to, actually my dad picked this one up for me on eBay because I never bought anything on eBay for myself, and I was like, I don't really know how this like bidding works and stuff, but my dad did it all for me. Isn't that so nice? And like he woke up early in the morning, and also very funny because my friend, she wanted this kit and I'm pretty sure she was bidding against my dad to buy it. I did end up finding another one for her, but I still think about that and I think how funny that is. It was Maddie over at Kitty Stitch. She was like, wait a second, you got that off of eBay? And I was like, yeah, my dad got it. And she was like, I was bidding on that. This is Dimensions. I think it's a gold collection. It is the Guardian of the Sea. The reason that I wanted the Dimensions version, and I've mentioned this every time I've showed this project, is that it has these beautiful pinks and the skyline is so bright and vivid. There is a Luca S version of this same artwork that is now licensed through them, but is much more muted. Still beautiful, just much more muted. I'm not a big lighthouse person, but the like Barbie pink of this one sold me on it. So of course I had to start at the lighthouse, and she is indeed Barbie pink. How fun is that though? With the blue door and the pink brick, I just thought it's so fun. I couldn't get it out of my head. Like I had to have it, and it really is a fun stitch. So definitely want to get this one done. Again, no idea how I would finish this. What I will do with it, absolutely beyond me. It doesn't really match the aesthetic of anything else. It's just so fun to stitch. I mean, obviously I love stitching on kits too. It's my big, like the divide between my style is I love reproduction samplers. I love that style of stitching. And then every once in a while I get this itch to be like, let me stitch on the crunchiest 14 count Aida that I could actually find. Like, you know, it's not great, but it's so just something about it. It does it for me. So anyways, that is all of my cross stitch, guys. That is everything. If you made it this far, I cannot believe that. Congratulations. Please leave me a comment and let me know what your favorite project is of mine, or leave me a comment with, I'm gonna say a little bear emoji, because in my craft room right now, there's a little bin next to me that has random toys in it. And one of them is a little teddy bear that Malachi likes to carry in here. So go ahead and leave me a teddy bear emoji. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I truly do appreciate it. If you've been around for a long time, or this is your first time watching, thanks so much. I always enjoy sharing with the community and hearing what you guys have to say, what you're working on, what you worked on during the duration of this video. Maybe it took you 3 days to watch this video. I know sometimes it takes me a while to finish people's videos because WIP parade season is crazy, girl. Okay, I'm watching 2-hour-long movies. I'm sat ready. I love it. It's like my favorite time of the year. I love WIP parades. Maybe that says something about me. I think I'm nosy, you know? But anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. I will be back soon with a regular floss tube. So hopefully, if it's your first time here, you subscribe. If not, like. Thank you so much. I appreciate ya. I'll catch you next time. Bye. No, that's not what I'm using. I'm gonna crack open a cold one, as they say. Yeah, this is an energy drink. Yeah. So bad for me. I know. That's why I'm drinking it. I'm just kidding. Listen, I'm a mother of a 2-year-old, well, almost 2-year-old and an almost 8-year-old. I need this, okay? And I drink 1 gallon of water a day. So unless you drink 2 gallons of water a day and you have 7 kids, don't tell me I should be drinking this. Not on my Candyland sweatshirt. Delicious. What am I saying? I'm 7 minutes in and I don't have a single idea of what I'm saying. Oh my God, get it together. What's wrong with me? Who's this by? Clickety clack on there. coloringcotton.com, and you order them flosses when they're on discount. Okay, you use that coupon. Let me just start over. Like, you shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be doing that.